Hi, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Shayyar Ahmed Khan. I am from software engineering, and today I have been given the task to do an analysis on algorithm. Before watching the given videos, I was unaware of this very thing that exists everywhere in day-to-day life. After doing some comprehensive research, I would define algorithm as bunch or set of instructions that define a certain task. A very simple example would be recipe of cooking biryani. Whereas in technical computational language, an algorithm might be defined as set of instructions, information or raw data given to a program in order to be executed in a step-by-step mechanism to get desired outcome or results if done with right technique and precision. Algorithm can outperform human being without any error making or jobs a lot easier. That might be its one of the biggest advantages, and age of technology, automation and robotics completely vindicates my point of view. Coming to the historical background, Al-Khwarizmi, a Persian mathematician, gave birth to algorithms in 805, and however, contrary to the modern day definition, it was only a set of instructions to solve mathematical and numerical problems. Nevertheless, it gave birth to its earliest instance of algorithms include a Euclid's function, pi, calculation of prime numbers, etc. etc. Later on, major developments and key alterations were made by George Boolean in 19th century, which created Boolean algebra and functions. Decade later, the biggest practical use came during the World War II when Alan Turing built the first ever complex Enigma computer with the help of algorithms. It was able to solve complex mathematical problems and decode the signals of enemies from Germany. The computer's action could depend upon the tally of logic, each of these symbols acting as bits of data and computer's state of mind being the condition or purpose of function being executed. Turing also imposed a limit to the number of symbols being paired at the same time, and computing more complex logic would require the machine to execute similar consecutive operations. Time after time, it was implemented in all coding languages, digital, computational, and mechanical machines you would find in day to day use. Java, it was the first language to implement code blocks and nested functions. COBOL, which stands for Common Business Oriented Language, is one of the first high level languages. The government contributed to COBOL's initial popularity by insisting the computers sold or leased to government had to have COBOL software available, since it was a major need in banks and airports. Speaking of high-level languages, after arguably important second oldest high-end language after Fortran, Lisp was developed at MIT. It explained data structures and source codes with eloquence. Had applications of artificial intelligence, machine learning as well. At Harvard, BASIC was developed. Its abbreviation Beginner All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code. It was further altered by Bill Gates and sold to Microsoft later in the 80s. In 1984, named after one of the most famous mathematician French Blaise Pascal, Nicolas Wirth developed an interactive, easy-to-use coding language denoted as Pascal. It at the time was encouraged in schools to learn it since its syntactic was relatively easy to learn and very decent coding structure and style. Even Apple used it initially. Dennis McAllister Ritchie was an American computer scientist. He created truly the first high-level C programming language with long-time colleague Ken Thompson in 1972. Fast forward 5 decades ahead, we can shortlist the most influential programming language. It got to be C. Any modern languages and softwares and games are developed using C++. No wonder why it is part of the curriculum of computer science and software engineering in every university. You can literally learn any language if you can clear the concepts of C. It's close to the machine code since it's amazing compiler and it's super fast. For those who have studied linear algebra must be perfectly aware of SQL. It stands for Structured Query Language, and it is used in fields like data science management systems. We can conclude that the development of programming languages started in early 19th century with Charles Babbage proposal for analytical machine. It's a supposedly a completely programmable machine. Although Babbage was not able to build the machine, his ideas inspired others to continue. For example, countless King wrote programs for machine using the concepts that are still used in today. Newman also developed the concepts of program technique and condition transfer, which refer to the flexibility of machines for running various types of programs and to the capability of machines of running instructions respectively. As technology continues to advance, as softwares become more complex, these things can be expected to appear. Thank you.